How your faith community can support mental health and well-being. Interviews by Rebecca Wolf, Faith Inclusion and Belonging Fellow.
What are some of the practical guidelines for being a welcoming, inclusive,
Right.
supportive congregation?
To kind of create a welcoming environment is obviously one of the simple things is to acknowledge people by name. I mean, you can go to faith communities, you can visit and no one will ever introduce themselves to you. I mean, that happens quite a bit. And we know that my guess is 90% of the people in the faith community are right now having been impacted by mental health, by someone in their family, they themselves, people that they know, their neighbors, their colleagues, whatever it might be. So, I mean, it's simple, but it has to be intentional. And so I think part of it is to welcome people by name and acknowledge their very being.
Faith leaders play a key role. And I think in any faith community, you need to have the support of your leadership, or typically it's just not going to happen. Clergy, professional faith leaders have a higher incidence of mental health disorders than the normal public, than the average person in the public. But they don't talk about it. So I encourage pastors and faith leaders to, hey, tell people. When a pastor can talk from the pulpit about mental health, it changes the dialogue, it changes the entire environment inside a congregation. So the faith leaders have an important role to play. Amen.
You need a champion, and you need to keep at it and to keep speaking about it. And sometimes tirelessly, it's kind of like the prophet Jeremiah. I don't know if you're familiar with the prophet Jeremiah, but he's one of my favorite prophets. He had a 40-year ministry career, right? And he's always on the wrong side of everything. When things are going great, God tells him he's got to tell the people, they're going to suffer because they're not obeying. When things are really bad, God tells him, hey, tell the people it's going to get better. And the people never listen. They're always mad at him. But he keeps going. He keeps doing it. And we need that prophetic voice always constantly there. And there's going to be times where mental health is the top conversation, right after COVID started. Oh, everybody's talking about mental health, right? And now that things are opening up, it's like, well, maybe, but let's fight about this instead of, mental health care. So we lose our focus so easily that it's something that's always going to need us to continue to bring it before the people and to be that prophetic voice and be like Jeremiah.
We can't forget that this issue is important.
Learn more at respectability.org/faith-inclusion.